Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Leviticus. Leviticus Part 3. I want to thank you all for coming. Oh, sorry. I want to thank you all for coming and watching these videos and reading along with me or just listening. I appreciate everything if you guys do come. And so, today we'll be starting at 12. Get a little sick, so I might not be a long video this time, but every week we have to do this, so we don't have to, but I want to, and I'm not gonna read too much this week, so I'm sorry, but I'll probably get to 15, and then all right, let's start it up and let's keep her going. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, 12:1, by the way, speaking to the children of Israel, saying, if a woman has conceived and born a male child, then she shall be unclean 7 days, as in the days of her customary impurity she shall be unclean. And on the 8th day the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. She shall then continue in the blood of her purification 33 days. She shall not touch any hallowed thing, nor come into sanctuary until the day of her purification are fulfilled. Until the days of her purification are fulfilled. But if she bears a female child, that she shall be unclean 2 weeks, as in her customary impurity, and she shall continue in the blood of her purification 66 days. When the days of her purification are fulfilled, whether for a son or a daughter, she shall bring to the priest a lamb of the first year as a burnt offering, and a young pigeon or a turtle dove as a sin offering to the door of the tabernacle of meeting. Then he shall offer it before the Lord and make anointment for her, and she shall be clean from the flow of her blood. This is the law for her who has borne a male or female. If she is not able to bring a lamb, then she may not bring 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, one as a burnt offering and the other as a sin offering. So the priest shall make anointment for her, and she shall be unclean. Then the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, when a man has on the skin of his body a swelling, a scab, or a bright spot, it becomes on the skin of the body like a leprous sore, and he shall be brought to Aaron and the priest of his son, or to one of his sons, the priests. The priest shall examine the sore on the skin of the body, and in the hair of this on this sore has turned white, or the sore appears to be deeper than the skin of the body, it is a leprous sore. Then the priest shall examine him and pronounce him unclean. If the bright spot is white on the skin of his body, and does not appear to be deeper than the skin, and its hair has not been turned white, then the priest shall isolate the one who has the sore for 7 days, and the priest shall examine him on the 7th day. And indeed, if the sore appears to be as it was, and the sore has not spread on the skin, then the priest shall isolate him for another 7 days. Then the priest shall examine him again on the 7th day, and indeed, if the sore has faded, and the sore has not spread on the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him clean. It is only a scab, then he shall wash his clothes and be clean. But if the scab should at all be spread over the skin, then after he has been seen by the priest for his cleansing, he shall be seen by the priest again. And if the priest sees that the scab is indeed spread on the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is leprosy. When the leprous sore is on a person, he shall be brought to the priest, and the priest shall examine him. And indeed, if the swelling on the skin is white, and has turned the hair white, and if there is a spot of the raw flesh in the swelling, it is an old leprosy on the skin of the body. The priest shall pronounce him unclean, and shall not isolate him, for he is unclean. If the leprosy breaks out all over the skin, and the leprosy covers all the skin of the one who has the sore, from his head to his foot, to wherever the priest looks, Then the priest shall consider, and indeed, if the leprosy has covered all of his body, and he shall pronounce him clean who has the sore. It has all turned white, he is clean. Then the raw flesh appears on him, and he shall be unclean. And the priest shall examine the raw flesh and pronounce him to be unclean, for the raw flesh is unclean, it is leprosy. For the raw flesh changes, turns white again, he shall come to the priest, and the priest shall examine him, and indeed if the sore has turned white, then the priest shall pronounce him clean who has the sore, he is clean. If the body develops a boil in the skin, and it is healed, and in the place of the boil where it comes a white swelling or a bright spot, reddish white, then it shall be shown to the priest. And if, when the priest sees it, it indeed appears to be deeper than the skin, and its hair has turned white, the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is leprous sore which has broken out of the boil. And if the priest examines it, and indeed there are no white hairs on it, and it is indeed not deeper than the skin, but has faded, then the priest shall isolate him 7 days. And if it shall spread all over the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a leprous sore. But if the bright spot stays in one place that has not spread, it is a scar of the boil, and the priest shall pronounce him clean. If the body receives a burn on its skin by fire, and the raw flesh of the burn becomes a bright spot, reddish white or white, then the priest shall examine it. If indeed the hair of the bright spot has turned white, and appears deeper than the skin, it is leprosy broken out in a burn. Therefore the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a leprous sore. But if the priest examines it, and indeed there are no white hairs in the bright spot, and it is not deeper than the skin, but has faded, then the priest shall isolate him 7 days, and the priest shall examine him on the 7th day. If it has all spread all over the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a leprous sore. But if the bright spot stays in one place, it has not spread on the skin, but has faded, it is a swelling from the burn, and the priest shall pronounce him clean, for it is the scar from the burn. If the man or woman has a sore on the head or the beard, then the priest shall examine the sore. If it appears deeper than the skin, if there is in it a thin yellow hair, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a scaly leprosy of the head or the beard. If the priest examines a scaly sore, it indeed does not appear deeper than the skin, and there is no black hair in it, then the priest shall isolate the one who has the scale for 7 days. And on the 7th day the priest shall examine the sore, and indeed if the scale has not spread, if there is no yellow hair in it, and the scale does not appear deeper than the skin, he shall shave himself, but the scale he shall not have, and the priest shall isolate the one who has the scale for another 7 days. On the 7th day the priest shall examine the scale, and indeed if the scale is not spread over the skin, and does not appear deeper than the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. He shall wash his clothes and be clean. But if the scale should at all spread over the skin in his cleansing, after his cleansing, the priest shall examine him, and indeed if the scale has spread over the skin, the priest should not seek for yellow hair, he is unclean. But if the scale appears to be at a standstill, there is a black hair grown up in it, and the scale has healed, he is clean, and the priest shall pronounce him clean. If a man or woman has bright spots on their skin of the body, specifically white bright spots, then the priest shall look, and indeed if the bright spots are on the skin of the body are dual white, it is a white spot that grows on the skin, he is clean. As for the man whose hair has fallen from his head, he is bald, but he is clean. He whose hair has fallen from his forehead, he is bald on the forehead, but he is clean. But if there is on the bald head or bald forehead a reddish white sore, it is leprosy breaking out on the bald head or his bald forehead. Then the priest shall examine it. Indeed, if the swelling of the sore is reddish white on the bald head or on his bald head, as the appearance of leprosy on the skin of the body, he is a leprous man, and he is unclean. The priest shall surely pronounce him unclean, his sore on his head. Now the leper on whom the sore is, his clothes shall be torn, and his head bare, and he shall cover his mustache and cry, unclean, unclean. He shall be unclean, and all the days he has the sore he shall be unclean. He is unclean, and he shall dwell alone. His dwelling shall be outside the camp. Also, if a garment has leprous plague in it, whether it is woolen garment or linen garment, whether it is warp of woof or linen of wool, whether in leather or in anything made of leather, if the plague is greenish or reddish in the garment or in the leather, whether it's whether in the warp, in the woof, or anything made of leather, it is a leprous plague. It shall be shown to the priest. The priest shall examine the plague and isolate that which the plague has the plague 7 days. He shall examine the plague on the seventh day. If the plague is spread in the garment, either in the warp of the warp in the woof, in the leather, or in anything else made of leather, the plague is an active leprosy. It is unclean. He shall therefore burn the garment in which is in the plague, whether warp of the woof or in wool of linen or anything of leather, for it is an active leprosy. The garment shall be burned in fire. But if the priest examines it, then indeed the plague is not spread in the garment, either in the warp of the woof or in anything made of leather. Then the priest shall command that they wash the thing which is the plague, and he shall isolate it another 7 days. Then the priest shall examine the plague after it's been washed, and indeed, if the plague has not changed its color, though the plague is not spread, it is unclean, and you shall burn it in fire. It continues eating away, whether the damage is outside or inside. If the priest examines it, and indeed the plague is faded after washing it, he shall tear it out of the garment, whether out of the warp of the out of the woof or out of leather. It appears again in the garment, either in the warp of the woof or anything made of leather. It is a spreading plague. You shall burn it. You shall burn with fire, in which is in the plague. And if you wash the garment, either warp a woof or whatever is made of leather, if the plague has disappeared from it, it shall be washed a second time, and it shall be clean. This is the law of the leprous plague in the garment of wool or linen, either warp of woof or in anything made of leather, to pronounce it clean or to pronounce it unclean. 14. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, This shall be the law of leper for the day of his cleansing. He shall be brought to the priest. Then the priest shall go out of the camp, and the priest shall examine him. And indeed, if the leprosy is healed in the leper, then the priest shall command to take him who is to be cleansed, 2 living and clean birds, cedar wood, scarlet, hyssop, I think that's how you say that. And the priest shall command that one of the birds be killed in an earthen vessel over running water. As for the living bird, he shall take the cedar wood and scarlet and hyssop, and dip them and the living bird in the blood of the bird that was killed over the running water. He shall sprinkle it 7 times on him who to be cleansed from leprosy, and shall pronounce him clean, and shall let the living bird loose in the open field. He who is to be cleansed shall wash his clothes, shave off all his hair, and wash himself in water, that he may be clean. After that he shall come into the camp, and shall stay outside his tent 7 days. But on the 7th day he shall shave all the hair off his head, and his beard, and his eyebrows, and all of his hair he shall shave off. He shall wash his clothes and wash his body in water, and he shall be clean. And on the 8th day he shall take 2 male lambs without blemish, 1 ewe lamb of the first year without blemish, 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering, and 1 log of oil. Then the priest who makes him clean shall present the man who is to be made clean and those things before the Lord at the door of the tabernacle meeting. And the priest shall take 1 male lamb and offer it as a trespass offering, and the log of oil made them as a wave offering before the Lord. Then he shall kill the lamb in the place where he kills the sin of the fiercing and burnt offering, and the holy place for the sin offering is the priest's, so the trespass offering is the most holy. The priest shall take some of the blood of the trespass offering, and the priest shall put it on the tip of the right ear of him who is to be cleansed, on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot. And the priest shall take some of the log of oil and pour it on the palm of his own left hand. Then the priest shall dip his right finger in the oil that is on the left hand, and shall sprinkle some of the oil with his finger 7 times before the Lord. Then the rest of the oil in his hand, the priest shall put some on the tip of his right ear of who is being cleansed, on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot, and on the blood of the trespass offering. The rest of the oil that is in the priest's hand he shall put on the head of him who is to be cleansed. So the priest shall make anointment for him before the Lord. The priest shall offer the sin offering, and make anointment for him to be cleansed from the uncleanliness. Afterward he shall kill the burnt offering. Then the priest shall offer the burnt offering and the grain offering on the altar. So the priest shall make anointment for him, and he shall be clean. Sorry. But if he is poor and cannot afford it, then he shall take one male lamb as a trespass offering to be waved, to make anointment for him, 1/10 of an ephah, a fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering, a log of oil, and 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, such as he is able to afford. One shall be a sin offering, and the other shall be a burnt offering. He shall bring them to the priest on the 8th day for his cleansing, to the door of the tabernacle meeting before the Lord. And the priest shall take the lamb of the trespass offering and log of oil, and the priest shall wave them as a wave offering before the Lord. He shall kill the lamb of the trespass offering, and the priest shall take some of the blood of the trespass offering, and put it on the tip of the right ear, who is to be cleansed, on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot. And the priest shall pour some oil into the palm of his own left hand. And the priest shall sprinkle his right finger some of the oil that is left in hand before the Lord 7 times. 7 times before the Lord, and the priest shall put some of the oil that is in his hand on the tip of the right ear of him who is to be cleansed, on the thumb of his right hand, on the big toe of his right foot, and on the place of the blood of the trespass offering. The rest of the oil that is in the priest's hand he shall put on the head of whom is to be cleansed, to make anointment for him before the Lord. And he shall offer one of the turtle doves or young pigeons, such as he can afford, such as he is able to afford, the sin offering, and the other as a burnt offering with the grain offering. So the priest shall make anointment for him who is to be cleansed before the Lord. This is the law for one who had the leprous or who cannot afford the usual cleansing. Sorry. And the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, when you have come into the land of Canaan, I've given you a possession. I put leprous plague in the land of your possession. He who owns the house comes to and tells the priest, saying, it has to me there is a plague in this house. Then the priest shall command that they empty the house before the priest goes into it and examine the plague that is in the house, that may be made unclean. And afterward the priest shall go and examine the house, and he shall examine the plague. And indeed, if the plague is on the walls of the house within grain stakes, green or reddish, which appear to be deep in the wall, then the priest shall go out of the house to the door of the house and shut up the house for 7 days. And the priest shall come again on the 7th day and look. And indeed, if the plague is spread all over the walls, then the priest shall command that they take away the stones in which is in the plague, and they shall cast them into an unclean place outside the city. And he shall cause the house to be scraped inside all around. The dust that they scrape off shall pour out in the unclean place outside the city. And they shall take the other stones and put them in the place of the 3 of those stones. And he shall take other mortar and plaster the house. Now if the plague comes back and breaks out of the house after he has taken away the stones, after he has scraped the house, and after it is plastered, and then the priest shall come and look. At a deed if the plague has spread in the house, it is an active leprosy of the house, it is unclean. And he shall break down the house, its stones, its timber, and the plaster of the house, and he shall carry them outside the city to an unclean place. Moreover, He who is into the house at all while it is shut up shall be unclean until evening, and he who lies down in the house shall wash his clothes, and he who eats shall wash his clothes. But if the priest comes in and examines, and indeed the plague has not spread in the house after the house is plastered, then the priest shall pronounce the house clean, and the plague has been healed. He shall take to cleanse the house 2 birds, cedar wood, scarlet, hyssop, and he shall kill one of the birds in the earthen vessel over running water. He shall take the cedar wood, hyssop, scarlet, and the living bird, and dip them in the blood of the slain bird, and in the running water sprinkle the house 7 times. And he shall cleanse the house with the blood of the bird, and the running water, and the living bird with the cedar wood, and the hyssop, and the scarlet. And he shall let the living bird loose outside the city in the open field, and make an ointment for the house, that it shall be clean. This is the law of any leprous sore and scale, for the leprous of any garment or of house, for a swelling and a scab and a bright spot, to teach when it is unclean and when it is clean. This is the law of leprosy. And we are going to stop there for the day, because I'm just not feeling too well. I still enjoy reading, and I'm gonna always try and get a video out a week. I will always have a video out on the week, actually. I've been late once, so I'm sorry about that. But this week is not that week. We're gonna be late. I always try to make it Sunday though. I appreciate everyone for coming. Sorry again for the short video. I'm just not feeling great at the moment. Sorry. Just a little sick, but next week hopefully I'll be better. I appreciate everyone for coming. Please leave a like, comment if you want. If you like watching these videos and want to come back, there's a little bell there, and you just gotta click it, and then you're notified, because it's Sunday, but I don't have a specific time I drop on Sunday. I like to have it out whenever, but I post these videos off my phone, so it's just a little different. I can't upload it as fast, and I have to be on the YouTube app. And obviously, when I'm posting it on Sunday, I'm out doing things, so it's like it takes, sometimes it's later, sometimes it's early. It just depends whenever I can be on the YouTube app on my phone. But yes, I appreciate everyone for coming, and I'll see you guys next week. Laters, Gator.